continue with a song called A Working Man.
Do you want me to say something? I don't know what to say. How are you all doing? Is everybody enjoying yourselves? Okay. Let's give them an applause for two men there who's after doing a lot of work to get this together tonight. Okay, just to let you know, next time you arrange one of these nights or a night like this, I'm going to have to pay for my flights. It cost me a fortune more than that. I said, lean.
he sold you once, but his music wouldn't win. Learn his love to discipline, thundering velvet hand. His gentle means of sculpting souls took me years to understand. Neither of the man is tired and his eyes are growing old, but his blood runs through my instrument, the song is in my soul. Life has been a poor attempt to imitate the man. I'm just a living legacy to the leader of the band. My brother's eyes were different, for they heard another call. One went to Chicago, the other to St. Paul. Now in Colorado, and I'm not in some hotel, living out this life I chose, I'm going to know so well. Thank you for the music and your stories of the road. Thank you for the freedom when it came my time to go. Thank you for the kindness and the times when you got tough. But Papa, I don't think I said I love you near enough. Leader of the band is tired and his eyes are growing old, but his blood runs through my instrument, the song is in my soul. Life has been a poor attempt to imitate the man. I'm just a living legacy to the leader of the band. I am the living legacy to the leader of the band.
Thank you. I'm gonna do this song here. I wasn't supposed to do this, it just came into my head. You'll appreciate this song. My dad used to sing this every night. We used to go to play with him years ago. He was an awful man. There's a couple of kids there, it's not really dirty at all there. Now this poor lady, I want you to know, and she went down to London a long time ago. She liked the place well, and there was a will to stay, but the neighbors were all dead when she went away to down, sweet county down. Now this poor lady got up late at night, and she said, so hell's blazing as I must have a shot. Up went to she down, sweet county down. No, watchman was just passing by, and he swore that he got such a smack in the eye. He put up his hand to see where he was hit, and he said, oh, my, I'm blinded with shit. From down, sweet county down. This poor old man, for life, with 6 kids at home and a single. I climbed to the station, you were to sit with a card on his chest, blinded with shit. From down, sweet county
We're going to finish up with a song called White Rose of Evans. everybody else that was up here today. But a special big thanks to Jerry and all the organisers. It's a pleasure for us to be here today. So I think we're just going to have a bit of a raffle here now. Yeah. And that's it. Thanks again. Thank you. The radio stood by Eva when she needed it, when Matthew passed on. Were brilliant and a great head to her. Thanks very much.
Ryan returned in 1923 as a tender young boy of 4 years to live with his cousins, the O'Neill family, in Hospital Lane in Liscorty. For the next 80 years, he left an indelible imprint on his adopted town and county, and all who came in contact with him. He made an impression on all who met him with his talent, good humour, decency and integrity. He also had a major creative influence on the students to whom he imparted his knowledge of music. He had great respect for musical talent, and in spite of his own abilities, he was a modest and humble man. Matty wrote about his beginnings in Liscorty, and I'll quote from his poem, My Foster Parents. When I came to Liscorty in 1923, I was only 4 years old, and the O'Neills adopted me. There was Matty, John and Katie, and their mother Margaret too. They lived in Hospital Lane until 1932. Johnny was a showman with circus and plays. He met some famous people in his early days. Milton Edwards, MacLean-Moore, and Hugh McMaster too. He used to tell me all the tales of the friends he knew. Many people have expressed the opinion that if Matty Kennard had a professional manager to focus his talents and promote him in the musical world, he would have went far. I wonder would Matty have taken kindly to being managed, and if he had travelled down that road, he certainly would not have been the Matty Kennard we all knew and loved. He had a long and interesting life, and I suppose if all our lives are judged on how happy we are as we journey through this vale of tears, then Matty Kennard had a truly happy life. No matter when you met Matty, he was always in good humour, friendly, and ready for a bit of banter. It can be said that he did not take life too seriously, and maybe one of the reasons he lived to be 84 years of age. It is possible that a professional impresario would eventually have ended up in this distracted state, trying to get Matty to conform to the demands of the modern music world. There was nothing materialistic about Matty. He was happy with his share of the world's goods and goodies. He was in his element, meeting up with his friends and participating in musical evenings or sessions. His musical friends in the latter years of his life were John Ryan and Jerry Doyle, and every Monday night for years had sessions in the home of John Ryan and Terry Orchard. They would be joined occasionally by Mick Keating, John Ryan Jr., Joe Whelan and Martin Codd. Matty Kennard and John Ryan started playing music together in 1933, when they were both members of the Gaelic League Band under the tuition of the late T.P. Kinsler. Matty had a memorable flag flown ahead in 2000 when he and his musical friends established themselves at the top of Castle Hill, where they attracted a very large audience. Matty was a member of the St. Aidan's Drama Group and the Liscorty Musical Society. I saw Matty performing many times on the Athenaeum stage in dramas, pantomimes and musicals. He was the quintessential pantomime Dane, and he revelled in such parts and played it to the hilt. You were already laughing before Matty opened his mouth, and he extracted the last ounce of amusement and laughter from the crowd. There were no video cameras then, and his more notable stage presentations are lost forever to posterity, except for the people who witnessed them on the night. It was his mother who brought Matty to Ireland, and shortly afterwards she returned to Scotland, where she died some months later after the birth of Matty's younger brother, John. The family separated after her death, as his father was too ill to look after 5 children, due to injuries he received in World War I. Consequently, Matty stayed with the O'Neills and spent the rest of his life in Liscorty. In 1932, the family moved to 16 St. Aidan's Villas, and there Matty lived until he passed away in 2003. In 1977, following a search of some years, Matty met his brother George in Dumfries Station for the first time in 63 years. George was the only family member that could be traced. No doubt the search for his family and family roots and the disappointment associated with the inquiries into his background must have affected him. His own family, his security, the affection of the people in Liscorty would have sustained him through any trauma. Down through the years, Matty was involved in a number of bands. According to Anne March in our souvenir booklet with was distributed tonight, issued for a Matty Kennard tribute concert, released like a member of the CBS school band in 1930 when he was 11 years of age. I've already mentioned the Gaelic League band when he was 14 years of age. He was a member of the Slaney Side Band under the leadership of Anthony Hanlon and Pierce Rowe. He also played with the Dennis O'Connor Band, and together with Stephen Carey, travelled to Rosslare during the summer months to welcome them once more. Again, the souvenir book gives us the story of Matty Kennard, reading the Echo one day in 1939, when he was amazed to see his name in print, Kennard's band playing for a dance in Clonroach. Apparently, Dennis O'Connor, unknown to Matty, had inserted the advertisement, and he proceeded to surprise Matty by telling him it would be okay. And from that day on, Kennard's band became a household name in County Wexford and beyond, with Whistling Rufus as a signature of children. Again, to quote from Matty's poem, My Foster Parents. My instruments came very slowly. The fiddle was the first. The second was the trumpet. I thought my jaws would burst. The man who launched me on the road, Dennis O'Connor was his name. He had a shop in Slaney Street from the side of the lane in Hay. Matty and Johnny were really a stream. They both worked together in the old Athenaeum. The Friday night dances, they were simply grand. The music was played by Kennard and his band. In the 40s, he entertained audiences in the Astor Cinema, Wafer Street, before and after the main event. As already mentioned in his poem, he was the resident band of the Athenaeum for the half-crown pops. Yes, indeed, it was the true ballroom of romance, and many a love affair blossomed to the strains of Matty Kennard's strict tempo. Of course, Matty had to work for a living, and for a number of years he was employed with H. Murphy and Company, and in 1958 he went to work with J.J. Tracy and Sons as a salesman. During all the time he was working, he was still playing with his band, and often wouldn't be home until 4 in the morning. He used to ride the bicycle to Pioneer on a Saturday night with an accordion on his back, stay in a friend's house, play for the dancing hall on Sunday night, and then ride all the way home to be at work, 8 a.m. on Monday morning. One cannot imagine the difficulties Matty had trying to combine his musical world with hard reality of everyday work. It must not have been easy. I'm sure he was assisted by a lot of understanding work colleagues. When Matty's employment ceased due to Fearon's going out of business, he sold bingo cards on Rafter Street. And I can't do no better than quote Matty himself in his poem, The Bingo Man. I am the man who sells the bingo cards outside Dunn Superstore, and been standing there now for 25 years or more. In hail, rain, frost, snow, I'm always on the job. A poor guy must do something, wearing an honest job. The children, they adore me, they love to shake my hand. Their dads and mans remember me, and the time I had my band. They talk about the old days, and of their first romance, of how they met their partner at the Cinderella dance. The lads I knew are getting few, some are dead or across the sea. Every year when they come home, they come down to talk to me. When they mention certain things, in their eyes I see it bleed, and their memories strayed, happy days spent in the Athenaeum. In 1953, Matty entered a talent competition in the Athenaeum, which he won and went on to the All-Ireland finals in Dublin, where he came second. In 1986, he was the finalist in the RTE Live at 3 talent competition, which was televised live. In April 1968, Matty married Edith Murphy. Edith was a singer in the band. It was not a case of puppy love or an impulsive teenage passion. No, it was a love affair of two talented people who knew exactly what they were doing. It was a marriage made in heaven, and they reared 4 great children, Matthew, John, and the twins, Mary and Noah. They're all with us here tonight. Again, quoting Anne Marsh, we were all surprised to discover that Matty had a good flair for writing poetry. And in his poems, he embellished and enchanted the lives and happenings of the ordinary everyday folk, and wove them into a pattern of the very fabric of our own, our people and community. Matty's 2 books of poems published by Sweet Slaney Side and Reflections. He became a member of Hope Cancer Support and Information Centre, where he learned how to paint in both watercolour and oil. Matty's last performance with his musical friends was in Donegal in August 2003, where they welcomed the Rose of Tralee contestants. A photograph of Matty beside the lovely Tralee rose appeared in the Echo. It was likely one of the last photographs ever taken died on the 14th of September 2003. He's gone to his heavenly home, and we all miss him. He was a legend in his own time, a hugely talented man. Some would argue he never fulfilled his true potential. I have a feeling that Matty was just as happy and fulfilled when with his saxophone or fiddle, playing music with Jerry Orchard, with John Ryan and Jerry Doyle, and his other friends, as he would have been if he was performing in Carnegie Hall. We have all our own memories of Matty. We salute his talent and thank God for the full life of Matty Canara. I'll conclude by quoting from Matty's poem, The All-Rounder, which was his tribute to the late Tommy Donnelly. The last two stanzas would equally apply to Matty. The town will never be the same. I suppose you had to go. Leave the friends you love the best in this world of care and woe. We know that you are happy now in that place beyond compare. And if there's music sessions that have an alto sax, there they go.
And we'll sing Our Lang Syne before the national anthem. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Sean O'Reilly.